Have you ever lifted a glass of wine at dinner thinking it was a harmless ritual, maybe even a healthy one? For decades, that's what Helen M., a retired piano teacher in Cincinnati, believed. Every night around 9 p.m., after finishing her crossword puzzle and feeding her cat, she would pour a small glass of Irish cream liqueur. It was her moment of comfort, a way to mark the end of the day. She never thought twice about it. But as Helen turned 74, her nights began changing. She started waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning, restless and foggy. Her balance felt off when she stood up, and her blood pressure readings were creeping up, even though she hadn't changed her medication or diet. What could have possibly shifted? Her primary care doctor, Dr. Ellis, asked her one simple question: "Do you still have that drink every night?" When Helen nodded, a new light was shed on the problem. What her body used to tolerate with ease had now become a silent disruptor. A study published in JAMA Neurology in 2022 found that older adults who consumed moderate amounts of alcohol had a 34% higher risk of cognitive impairment compared to abstainers. And it's not just the brain. Alcohol, especially after age 60, can interfere with medications, reduce sleep quality, and increase the risk of falls, heart complications, and dehydration. The truth is, your body changes. Your liver slows down. Your kidneys become less efficient. Your sleep cycle becomes fragile. And yet, most seniors continue to drink like they did in their 40s or 50s, unaware that their normal drink now has very different consequences. This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. It's about reclaiming control over your health, one small habit at a time. You've spent decades building your life. This chapter should be about protecting what matters most: your clarity, your strength, and your ability to live independently. If you've ever had a drink and thought, "I deserve this," you're not wrong. But what you truly deserve is to enjoy your evenings without paying for it with your mornings. And the good news? You don't need to give up celebration. You just need to celebrate smarter. Let's take a closer look at what's happening inside your body after 60 and why alcohol now plays by a different set of rules. When Walter J., a 69-year-old retired mechanic from Boise, Idaho, visited his doctor after a minor fall in his garage, he expected to be told it was just a slip. But what surprised him more than the bruises was the discovery that his blood pressure had spiked, his sodium levels were low, and his medication wasn't working as it used to. Walter had always enjoyed his Friday bourbon nights and never missed his weekend beer during football. "I've been drinking like this since I was 30, he told his doctor. Why would it suddenly be a problem now? That's a fair question. And the answer lies in one simple truth: your body after 60 isn't the same body you had at 40. According to the National Institute on Aging, after age 60, the liver's ability to break down alcohol slows significantly. That means alcohol stays in your bloodstream longer and has a more intense effect. At the same time, your body contains less water, so the same amount of alcohol becomes more concentrated and hits harder. This isn't about being weaker with age, it's about chemistry changing with time. But the complications don't stop there. The CDC reports that 8 out of 10 seniors over 65 take at least one prescription medication daily. And many of the most common ones, blood thinners, antidepressants, diabetes medications, and sleeping aids, can interact dangerously with alcohol. When you mix these, your risk of dizziness, bleeding, irregular heartbeat, or even severe confusion skyrockets. The Mayo Clinic has also published findings showing that alcohol worsens sleep architecture in older adults. While it might help you fall asleep initially, it disrupts the deeper stages of sleep, particularly REM sleep, which is crucial for memory consolidation and emotional regulation. That's why many seniors who drink before bed often report waking up multiple times a night, feeling groggy in the morning, or noticing mood swings without realizing alcohol was the trigger. And there's more. Alcohol contributes to dehydration, which becomes more dangerous with age. As we grow older, our kidneys are less efficient, our thirst cues diminish, and alcohol only makes that worse. Dehydration alone can cause fatigue, joint stiffness, low blood pressure, and even confusion symptoms many seniors mistakenly attribute to just getting older. Alcohol also compromises balance, a major concern for seniors. The CDC states that 1 in 4 seniors falls each year, and alcohol is a leading contributing factor. Even low doses impair coordination, reflexes, and depth perception, increasing the risk of injury or even hospitalization. For Walter, understanding that his Friday bourbon wasn't the same as it used to be changed everything. He didn't stop drinking altogether, but he did start drinking differently with food, in smaller amounts, and with more awareness. "It's not about giving it up," he said. "It's about being honest with what your body needs now, not what it used to handle." This part of the journey is about learning to listen again to your energy, your clarity, your stability, and realizing that what once felt harmless might now be holding you back. You deserve better. You deserve to feel clear-headed, steady, and in control. And the first step is knowing which drinks to approach with caution. Let's now dive into the 5 most dangerous types of alcohol for seniors and why each one is more harmful than it seems. Let's step into the fridge, the liquor cabinet, or the restaurant menu and look at 5 common drinks that many seniors still enjoy without realizing they've quietly become more harmful with age. Each one carries its own hidden risks, especially for those managing blood pressure, medications, balance, or brain function. Understanding what's behind each label could save you more than just discomfort. It could protect your independence. 1. Hard liquor, whiskey, vodka, rum. Let's start with the strongest stuff. A single ounce of whiskey or vodka can contain upwards of 40% alcohol by volume, delivering a rapid, intense hit to your system. When you're in your 30s or 40s, your liver handles it efficiently. But after 65, that efficiency drops sharply. A 2021 study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that adults over 65 experienced significantly greater blood alcohol concentrations and slower recovery times than younger adults consuming the same amount. Hard liquor doesn't just impair judgment faster. It hits your equilibrium and your blood pressure almost instantly. For older adults, this means more frequent dizziness, greater risk of falling, and dangerous drops in blood pressure, especially when combined with common medications like beta blockers or sedatives. And because hard liquor dehydrates rapidly, it compounds common senior complaints like dry mouth, constipation, and kidney strain. It's not that whiskey or rum is inherently evil. It's that your body no longer processes it like it used to. 2. Cream-based liqueurs, Baileys, Kahlua, Amarula. They're smooth, sweet, and comforting. But for older adults, cream liqueurs are a sugar-fat bomb wrapped in alcohol. Most contain added sweeteners, dairy, and artificial flavors, all things that strain aging digestion. A 2022 Mayo Clinic review noted that saturated fat combined with ethanol accelerates fat buildup in the liver and raises triglycerides, both major risk factors for cardiovascular disease. On top of that, the high sugar content spikes blood glucose levels, making these drinks especially risky for seniors with diabetes or insulin resistance. And since these drinks are often consumed in the evening, they can also worsen acid reflux and disrupt sleep, 2 issues that already plague many adults over 60. 3. Flavored wine coolers and sweet wines. These are often marketed as light or easy to drink, but they're anything but harmless. Most commercially sold wine coolers and sweet dessert wines contain high fructose corn syrup, food dyes, and sulfites. For a senior body, this is a cocktail of inflammation. According to the CDC, nearly 26% of adults over 65 in the US have diabetes, and sweet wines can spike glucose rapidly, leading to mood swings, energy crashes, and nerve damage over time. Sulfites have also been shown to trigger asthma symptoms, headaches, and gastrointestinal issues, especially in aging adults with underlying sensitivities. One glass of these seemingly gentle drinks can quietly provoke flare-ups you might misattribute to aging or stress. 4. Beer, especially light beer. There's a myth that light beer is a safer option for seniors. But in reality, the light refers more to calories than to alcohol impact or chemical composition. Light beer still contains purines, compounds that break down into uric acid, a major trigger for gout. Gout is an inflammatory condition that affects nearly 4% of US seniors, according to the CDC, and it's especially common among older men. Beer's combination of purines and dehydrating effects creates the perfect storm for a painful flare-up. Beyond that, beer acts as a diuretic, increasing nighttime urination, disrupting sleep, and accelerating dehydration. And because many light beers still contain significant carbs, they can also cause blood sugar fluctuations, fatigue, and weight gain issues most seniors are actively trying to manage. 5. Cocktails and mixed drinks. They look festive, feel indulgent, and are often served at family events or happy hours. But behind the fruit garnishes and fancy names is a dangerous truth. Cocktails often mask high alcohol levels with sugar and additives. A 2022 NIH report found that mixed drinks containing both high-proof spirits and sugar can interfere with glucose regulation and amplify the sedative effects of alcohol, especially in adults over 65. This leads to a higher risk of overconsumption without awareness, particularly when sipping slowly over long periods. Plus, cocktails often contain ingredients like tonic water with quinine, artificially flavored syrups, or fruit juices, all of which add extra sugar and may interact with medications. For example, quinine in tonic can interfere with certain heart drugs, and citrus juice can affect statin absorption. The real danger of cocktails lies in how they trick your system, delaying the feeling of intoxication and increasing the chance of slips, confusion, or poor coordination hours later. These 5 types of drinks are not dangerous because they're inherently bad. They're dangerous because most people don't adjust their drinking habits to match what their bodies need at this stage of life. A drink that once relaxed you might now be quietly robbing you of balance, brain power, and energy. Now that we've covered what to be cautious of, let's shift to something more empowering. The drinks that can still bring you joy without stealing your well-being. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, that's understandable. We just went through 5 common drinks, some of which you may have enjoyed for years, that are now quietly putting your health at risk. But here's the good news. You don't need to give up joy to protect your health. You just need to shift how you enjoy it. Think of this not as quitting alcohol, but as learning a new way to toast, connect, and unwind, one that works better for your body now. Take Carol, for example. She's 71, a retired elementary school librarian from Tacoma, Washington. Every Thursday, she meets her friends for happy hour at a local bistro. For years, her go-to was a peach margarita. She loved the tradition, the laughter, the ritual of clinking glasses and sharing life. But after one too many nights of poor sleep, acid reflux, and waking up feeling foggy, she decided something had to change. Instead of skipping happy hour altogether, she asked the bartender to make her a mocktail with sparkling water, fresh mint, and a squeeze of lime. The first time she tried it, she felt self-conscious. But the second week, one of her friends asked for the same thing. By the third week, 3 of them had made the switch. Now it's their new tradition, still joyful, still social, but without the price. You see, joy doesn't have to come in a bottle. It comes in the moment. The connection, the intention. And the real secret? Once you stop drinking out of habit and start drinking with awareness, your body begins to respond differently. You sleep deeper. Your balance returns. Your thinking sharpens. You feel more in control not just of your glass, but of your health. You haven't lost anything. You've just evolved how you celebrate. So now that you're open to trying something new, Let me show you 5 alcohol alternatives that can help you stay engaged, energized, and uplifted without sabotaging your sleep, memory, or medication. These aren't just substitutes, they're upgrades. Let's now turn the page. You've seen what to avoid now. Here are 5 drinks that can not only replace your evening ritual, but actually support your health in meaningful, measurable ways. Each of these is backed by science, easy to enjoy, and most importantly, designed with your aging body in mind. 1. Red wine, in moderation, 5 Oz, 2-3 times a week. Yes, you read that right. Not all alcohol is off the table. Red wine, when consumed in small, intentional amounts, may actually offer certain benefits. The key is portion and timing. Red wine is rich in a compound called resveratrol, a natural polyphenol found in the skin of red grapes. According to a 2020 review from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, resveratrol has been associated with improved endothelial function, reduced inflammation, and better cholesterol regulation in adults over 60. In simple terms, it helps your arteries stay flexible and your blood vessels relaxed. Stick to 5 ounces, no more than 3 times a week. Choose dry reds like Pinot Noir or Cabernet Sauvignon over sugary blends. Drink with food to prevent spikes in blood sugar or drops in pressure. Avoid drinking close to bedtime, since even wine can interfere with REM sleep. When enjoyed mindfully, red wine becomes less of a habit and more of a ritual. 2. Wine spritzer. Half red or white wine, half sparkling water. If you like the taste of wine but want something lighter, this is your elegant middle ground. A wine spritzer dilutes the alcohol content by 30 to 50%, while keeping the social feel and flavor of the drink. This approach reduces the burden on your liver, lowers the chance of dehydration, and prevents sleep disturbances. It also slows down your pace of drinking, which helps your body process the alcohol more gently. You can infuse it with a splash of citrus or a few berries for a refreshing twist. The visual of a tall, fizzy glass adds to the experience, making it feel like a celebration without the side effects. 3. Kombucha. Alcohol-free or under 0.5% ABV. Kombucha isn't just trendy, it's therapeutic, especially for seniors. This fermented tea is naturally fizzy, slightly tart, and packed with live probiotics that nourish your gut microbiome. And the older we get, the more that matters. The NIH Human Microbiome Project has shown that microbial diversity in the gut decreases after age 65, weakening the immune system and digestion. Drinking kombucha regularly may help restore this balance. Look for varieties that are alcohol-free or under 0.5% ABV and have under 5 grams of sugar per serving. Many seniors report better digestion, less bloating, and even improved mental clarity after adding kombucha to their routine. It's a simple, enjoyable way to support your health from the inside out. 4. Adaptogen-based mocktails. These aren't just alcohol substitutes, they're stress soothers, brain boosters, and sleep supporters. Adaptogens are herbs that help your body adapt to stress and rebalance hormones naturally. Common examples include ashwagandha, lemon balm, holy basil, ginger, and chamomile. A mocktail made with sparkling water, a splash of natural juice, and an herbal syrup or tea can be just as satisfying as a cocktail without the side effects. A 2022 Mayo Clinic article emphasized the role of adaptogens in reducing cortisol, the stress hormone, and promoting calmer moods in aging adults. These mocktails are especially helpful for those who deal with anxiety, insomnia, or the side effects of medications. You might try a mocktail with hibiscus tea, ginger syrup, and a wedge of lime, or chamomile with cinnamon and a touch of honey. They're flavorful, comforting, and safe. 5. Warm, spiced herbal tonics. Evening tea rituals. Lastly, consider building a new nighttime ritual around warm herbal drinks. Turmeric tea with black pepper, cinnamon, and coconut milk is a popular choice among older adults for its anti-inflammatory properties. According to the Mayo Clinic, turmeric, especially when combined with black pepper, can reduce joint inflammation and morning stiffness in seniors. It also supports liver function, making it a powerful alternative to alcohol for those dealing with arthritis or medication fatigue. These herbal tonics won't dull your senses or disrupt your sleep. In fact, they do the opposite. They ease you into rest, soothe your digestive system, and give your body the gentle support it needs at night. So whether it's a spritzer at a gathering, a kombucha with lunch, or a turmeric tea before bed, you have options. These aren't just less bad, they're actively good. Drinks that don't just leave you unharmed, but leave you better than they found you. Sometimes it's not the facts that convince us to change, it's the stories, the real lives behind the numbers. Because when you see someone like you, same age, same concerns, make a small shift and feel better, you start to believe that maybe you can too. Take Frank R., a 72-year-old retired postman from Omaha, Nebraska. For most of his life, a cold bottle of beer was his evening companion. It helped him unwind, feel grounded, and stay connected to old routines. But after turning 70, Frank started waking up multiple times a night. He felt more sluggish in the mornings, and his ankles began swelling more frequently. At first, he blamed his age. Then his daughter, a registered nurse, suggested something simple. Try swapping your beer for kombucha 3 nights a week. Just 3. Skeptical but willing, Frank gave it a shot. Within 2 weeks, his nighttime sleep became deeper. His swelling eased. He even started looking forward to picking out new kombucha flavors. I still miss the beer sometimes, he said, but I don't miss how I used to feel the next morning. Then there's Jeanette L., 77, from Asheville, North Carolina. A retired piano teacher and grandmother of 4, Jeanette had a long love affair with Irish cream liqueur. It was my comfort, she admitted. After dinner, I'd pour myself a little glass and sit on the porch. But after a winter of restless nights, weight gain, and acid reflux, she had to reconsider. Jeanette tried a mocktail made from chamomile tea, cinnamon, and a splash of vanilla almond milk. It felt cozy, almost nostalgic, she said. Within a month, she had lost 4 pounds without trying and was sleeping through the night again. And I still sit on the porch, she laughed, but now I sleep like I earned it. Finally, meet Robert M., 68, a Vietnam veteran and jazz enthusiast living in Sacramento. Robert had never considered himself a heavy drinker, but he enjoyed 2 glasses of wine every evening while listening to Coltrane or Davis. Over time, he began noticing memory fog, stiffness in his joints, and what he called slow mornings. After reading about resveratrol, he decided to try something different. He now limits his wine to a single 5-ounce glass 3 nights a week and drinks turmeric ginger tea on the others. 3 months in, Robert says he feels more focused, moves more easily, and hasn't forgotten a name in weeks. These aren't magic stories. They're real people making real decisions. No one gave up joy. They just shifted how they experienced it. And in return, they gained something even more important: clarity, balance, energy. If you're wondering whether one small change can really make a difference, let their stories be your proof. You don't have to overhaul your life. You just have to start with 1 glass. Let's pause for a moment and talk about something too many people overlook: the interaction between alcohol and medication. Most adults over 65 take at least 1 prescription drug, and many take 3 or more. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 90% of U.S. seniors are on regular medications for conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or sleep disorders. What's often not discussed until a health scare happens is how alcohol, even in small amounts, can interfere with those medications in subtle but dangerous ways. Take Clara W., 73, from Tucson, Arizona. She'd been managing her blood pressure with medication for years and felt in control, but she began experiencing dizziness and fatigue after just 1 glass of red wine in the evening. Her doctor explained that alcohol can amplify the effects of blood pressure meds, causing sudden drops in pressure, something Clara didn't realize. "I thought a little wine was good for the heart," she said. "No one told me it could knock me off balance." That's the tricky part. Many seniors are told moderate alcohol is fine, but moderate doesn't mean the same thing when your metabolism is slower, your liver is more vulnerable, and your medication is working hard to keep you stable. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin or apixaban, alcohol increases the risk of internal bleeding. It can make your blood too thin, especially if you consume more than one drink. If you're taking statins for cholesterol, alcohol may increase the risk of liver toxicity and muscle damage. You might not feel it right away, but over time it adds up. If you're on diabetes medications, particularly insulin or sulfonylureas, alcohol can lead to blood sugar crashes called hypoglycemia hours after drinking, even while you sleep. If you're taking sleep aids, sedatives, or anti-anxiety drugs, alcohol can intensify drowsiness, impair breathing, and increase confusion. The combination puts you at greater risk for falls, memory loss, or even hospitalization. And here's something even more surprising. Citrus juices, often used in cocktails like grapefruit, can interfere with how your liver processes many medications. So even a simple drink can become more complicated than it seems. So what can you do? You don't have to eliminate alcohol entirely unless your doctor advises it. But you do need to be aware and consistent. If you're on medication, avoid suddenly increasing or decreasing alcohol intake. Stick to one standard drink or less. Drink with food, and avoid drinking near your medication times unless approved by your physician. The most powerful thing you can bring to the table isn't just the drink. It's knowledge. It's choosing with clarity. And it's knowing when your body is saying, "This isn't working for me anymore." Before you reach for a glass next time, take a moment to check in with your meds, your doctor, and yourself. That small pause might protect your balance, your brain, or your night's sleep. Let's take a moment to step back and reflect on what we've covered today. We started with a wake-up call, a reminder that what once felt harmless, a nightly drink, a toast at dinner, a celebration with friends, might now carry risks we never imagined. Not because the drink changed, but because we did. Our bodies changed. Our needs changed. We explored the 5 alcoholic drinks that quietly chip away at the energy, balance, and clarity we work so hard to maintain after 60. Hard liquor, cream-based liqueurs, sweet wines, beer, and cocktails. Not inherently bad, but no longer working for our aging systems the way they once did. Then we introduced 5 better options. Not compromises, but real science-backed upgrades. Red wine in moderation, wine spritzers, low-sugar kombucha, adaptogen-based mocktails, and warm herbal tonics. Drinks that support your heart, your sleep, your digestion, and your clarity. You heard real stories from real seniors who made one small change and experienced real benefits. Not because they gave something up, but because they chose something better. And we talked about medications, about how alcohol can interfere with the treatments that are keeping you steady. How even a small adjustment in what you drink could protect your memory, your balance, your life. So now the question comes back to you. What's one drink you could swap this week? What's one small change that could make your mornings clearer, your nights more restful, your energy more consistent? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to go cold turkey. You just need to be curious. Curious enough to try, brave enough to change, and wise enough to protect the future you've earned. If this video helped you think differently about alcohol and aging, share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us, what drink are you ready to let go of, and what new ritual are you excited to try? And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because in our next video, we're taking on another hidden habit. 3 so-called healthy drinks that may actually be causing joint stiffness, and the one warm drink that can loosen them in just 7 days. Until then, here's to celebrating differently, to living fully, and to choosing wisely one sip at a time.